Welcome to today's episode. Today, I want to talk about something very important that we really don't talk about because our parents probably taught us about hustle culture. In the Latino community, we see that a lot, especially with immigrant parents because they come over here to America for a better future. So you always usually hear, échale ganas, you got to work hard. But what happens when you're working too hard? You jump into the corporate world and your nervous system says, you know what? Enough is enough. So I want to talk about the power of living slowly. And today I have my sister-in-law, Jennifer Ibarra. Give her a round of applause. She's going to talk about that because she's lived through the corporate world and now she realized that she likes to live a little bit more slowly. So Jen, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank
How are you feeling?
This is exciting. I've never done something like this before, so it's pretty interesting to see and to be, on the other side of the camera.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
We've been talking about it for a while, but finally we're here today.
I know.
I want to start at the beginning. What made you say, you know what, I have enough with the corporate world?
It actually happened, like maybe earlier this year, where I had an accident at work and I was quickly replaced. So it made me feel like, all this like blood, sweat, and tears that you put into this company. And within a matter of a couple weeks, you're just on to the next, which I always knew that, but I guess because, like I said, my heart, I was kind of leading with my heart that I was like, okay, wait, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe it just has you second guessing anything you do. And I was like, okay, maybe it's time to step away.
What is one of the most difficult things that you dealt with in corporate world? Because as a woman, I know that it's hard.
Oh my God.
First of all, the pay sucks. Men are still earning more money compared to women.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like being in a corporate world full of men?
Yeah. So I was first and foremost a female, a young female. So that's another one. Most of it was from males coming to you with little respect because they see just a young Latina. Like, what do you know? Until you find out, like, oh, she's the boss. Then there's that level of respect. So you need to really have that title. But then you also have to be a little weary on like making sure you're not coming across as like a bitch, right? But I quickly learned you really need to have like a strong head on your shoulders to be able to, talk to some of these men, to some of these people who are gonna disrespect you in like, of course, a professional way and know how to stand your ground. And who cares if you're seen as a bitch? Like, you're running the show. So there's a lot of that like constant affirmation that you have to like, okay, you're in charge, you can do this. A lot of little pep talks, I think, kind of helped along the way for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Did you ever come home like, okay, I can't take this anymore. I just...
Yeah. Oh, for sure. There's moments of like weakness. The thing about it though is when you're, putting on a show, no one can tell you're having a shitty day. You're really just trying. Oh, especially if the hormones are kicking in. Oh my God, I'm just there like you can't tell. But as soon as you get home, it's just your battery's drained.
Okay.
You just want to like just lay down, rest, and be vulnerable. And you're just like, I'm done. I'm completely done. And those moments where it's like, okay, how much longer are you going to keep doing this for? Can you keep doing this? Like, what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah.
Was then the thoughts that came in.
It's funny because I really admire that, that you were able to jump the corporate, because it is hard. Even right now that I have 4 kids, 3 of them live with me. The other one, she's with her grandma. I'm afraid to go back to the workforce because I know that I'm gonna have to balance children and work, and it scares me so much to go to work. Like, you have no idea because you do have to put this front, and then it's hard to act a certain way at work and then leave it at work and not bring it to your family.
Exactly.
So did you ever find like a balance of like, okay, this is work and I'm coming home, or did you feel like I'm taking it home and this is why I want to stop?
No, actually, well, I mean, I think there was times where work was too much of an overload and I would bring it home and then quickly realize like, okay, I need to kind of relax. I'd be talking to Edgar and it's like, okay, we're talking about work again. And I would hear myself and I'm like, okay, this is not you. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. But that just showed like how involved I was with like, okay, I need to do this, working off the clock, like, and that becomes your new norm where it's like, okay, no, wait, you kind of lose sight of like who you are because you're so invested in it.
Okay, so I noticed that we talked about like you being in the corporate world, but our audiences don't know what you will do. Can you elaborate a little bit of what you were in charge of?
Yeah,
so that way
of
they
course.
could like,
Yeah,
okay, wow.
so I ran I was in charge of a group of, I guess, like 45 people. I was the general manager. I was also heavily invested with like the corporate side of the business. So I was in charge of a lot of like extra jobs, like as far as HR and marketing, dealing with vendors. It was just a bunch of little things that I would do to oversee, even, you know, having input on like opening new locations. So I feel like my title is kind of like fluid, I guess, to their advantage. And I just thought hustle culture, you got to show them that you can do it. You can do it. Especially because I felt like you needed to prove yourself even more being a young female.
Yes.
That you're able to take it on, no problem, right? Which I feel I did a really good job because no one ever saw me emotional. No one ever saw me any of the things that you would think, oh, a woman in the business. And it was none of that. So,
which is crazy because I feel like if you gotta cry, cry it out, and that's it, you know. But we gotta like be strong and
oh no, like there was many days where like I'm just like, okay, you do obviously. I don't think I've ever even gotten choked up, and that just shows how much you're like. I'm literally playing a character right now. But when you get home, it's just like, I'm so done. I'm so tired. Like, what the hell, you know? And then it's like, okay, your body still physically goes through all of those emotions.
Okay.
Even though you're not.
You're gonna have to give me some tips.
And it's hard, like, you know, I can't even imagine. Some props to these people that are doing it and they're still coming home to a family and they're still, you know, tapped in and logged in. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't have any kids, right? So that became everything for me. But quickly, like, realizing, like, okay, no, there's more to this, made me realize, like, okay, maybe it's time to just make that move.
So that goes to my next question. Were you afraid of stepping down and like, how am I gonna make money? What am I gonna do? Or losing your identity? Because I feel like in America especially, your identity revolves around a lot what you do, your work. First thing you meet somebody, oh, what do you do? I work here.
1,000%. Yeah.
That becomes your identity. Were you afraid of that? Like, what was the transition from like, were you working how many hours?
Oof, sometimes like 50, 60 hour work
50,
week.
60 hour work week with, shoot, what, I'm not working right now.
What do I do?
What do I do?
Oh, yeah. I feel like the instant, like, pause. You're like, oh, I don't have to do that. Okay, well, what do I do then? Then you start questioning yourself, like, okay, well, do I have a hobby? What do I want to do? Like, and then I was hearing, like, my grandmother's voice of, like, échale ganas, you gotta do this. What do you mean you don't have a job? You need to work, save all your money. And it's like, I feel like this generation's so different now where it's like, well, I'm gonna enjoy my life. Like, but I don't blame them at all because that's what they were raised to do. So it's kind of like seeing both perspectives. Like, okay, well, I get it. But there was a lot of guilt, you know, even like till this day, like I feel there's always something to do. And then the second you sit on the couch, you start feeling guilty for relaxing. But it's like, no, you deserve to sit down for a bit. The house is okay. You don't, you know, your errands are ran. It's okay to chill. Like, okay, well, no, I'm going to go do this then. And it's like, because you're constantly trying to feel productive, but it's like, it's okay to be still. And I think that was hard to, first and foremost, like, sit there and just be like, okay, I deserve to rest for a bit. Because literally, that's how the simple life is. Where it's like you get to enjoy the silence.
Obviously, you were able to step down and not get into a job right away because you have the support of your husband. Can you tell me how he reacted when you told him, "Hey, babe," or "Hey, baby, I don't think I can keep showing up to work"? Like,
yeah, so he's God bless him. He's like the most supportive guy ever. I've never had to. I can tell he knew that I was done, but he was also being my support of like, okay, I can push you. I can push you to be better because that's what he wants for me. But then when he saw that it was just too much, like, hey, you don't have to do any of this. You know that. Like, that's what I'm here for. But growing up, I was raised by a single mother who took on everything. She was the top of the corporate. She was the top of this Miss Boss Lady wearing suits every day. So that was already instilled in my head as a child. Like, that's what you need to do. And then, so now having a man there that can support was just like, oh, I don't need to be in my masculine all the time, like, because I have that support. So going into that world was like, oh wow, you can trust this person. You can they got your back. And I think that's what it's supposed to feel like, you know, but this was also my first time experiencing that and first time experiencing out of the corporate world. So it was a lot of things to adapt to at once.
I bet. I mean, it's tough because you're so used to clocking in, and then after you're not clocking in anymore, and then also like you mentioned the masculinity energy. You know, like now tapping into your feminine energy, where you
Yes.
have a supportive husband. Like, hey, I got you. But at the same time, you just had a scare like this. He got me. Like,
Yeah. And I 1,000%. And like, I know he's got me, but why is this? And I think it just goes back to like how you were raised, right? Like, well, yeah, but I could do that, but it feels so out of place. Like, I remember it feeling uncomfortable.
yeah.
And now I'm like, you know, enjoying it. Like, oh wow, it does make you feel like, oh wow, okay, like a little like cutesy kind of thing. Like, you know, I was like, oh, okay, like this is nice. I'm still getting used to it. Believe me, sometimes I'm just like, no, well, I think I'm good, you know, but it's like, no, you're fine. Like, so it's that again, that constant reassurance for myself, that little pep talks, like you're
Yeah, that
good.
I think you kind of have to like I'm not sure if I'm using the correct word, but repairing yourself again. I don't think it's repairing. It's more of like training your subconscious of different things that you're not used to. I'm not sure the right word.
No,
but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we grow up with these beliefs, and it's like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. So it's like training your brain and your mind, like it's okay. You know, it's okay to not be in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Step down a little bit and find yourself.
Exactly.
I do have one more question. You did say that your mom, you know, she's always been like this boss lady and work, and your grandma also like échale ganas. How did your family take it when they found out that you were not working?
I think my mom was more so like her and I talk all the time, and she kind of knew that I was on this journey of like, you know, self-development, finding hobbies. Like, who is Jen if there's no corporate world? And that was a hard answer. Like, it's a hard thing to answer, and I'm still trying to answer that question, you know, but I need that time to be able to venture out and see what it is that I get into. And the fact that I have the freedom to do that, it's beautiful. And like talking to my mom about it, I feel like she sees me with a different lens now, where it's like, okay, you take the time. Like, this is why you work so hard for you to actually enjoy yourself.
No,
now.
really, that's awesome.
And I love that she sees that versus being, you know, what do you mean you're not working? Do this, do that.
What are you doing with your life?
Exactly, because you already have those thoughts as an individual. So imagine someone else telling you that.
In the workforce.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's sad.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, I also think that's what our parents were taught, because they didn't, well, in my case, my grandparents didn't have school. I remember my grandma, she said they only offered up to 3rd grade.
No way.
So she did it twice because she was so in love with school.
Oh wow.
But then obviously there's a financial where she couldn't anymore. So she was so big on go to school, go to school. So when I would show them my report cards of all A's, to them they were succeeding, but to me it was more like, okay, I'm making you happy, but not knowing like, okay, well, what does Jen want to do then?
Yes.
And that's where it's like, okay, now you're kind of getting both sides.
So I do have a question. Did your mom go to school?
She did.
She went. So she graduated college.
She no. She
high school?
She she was actually the first and I think the only to graduate from high school. My mom came here I think when she was like 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Growing up, it was like an English household. My grandma was so big on like
go to school.
and she would tell me like, if you want to speak to me, you're speak to me in Spanish. If not, don't speak to me at all.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it's very big on like, okay,
Spanish.
like reminding you where you're from, you
Yeah.
know, which I loved. And then hearing her stories like from the pueblo and little things like that was like so inspiring, because look at what she did to bring us here, to give us the life that we wanted, you know. And I guess you kind of feel like guilty, like, okay, well, now I kind of got to do what they want me to do because they did this for me. But it's like, well, these are the land of opportunities. You can literally do what you want.
Yes.
But you just got to have the backbone to try it, because it's scary out here.
It is scary out here. Question is, what does a slow day look like for you? What's the perfect slow day for you?
Ooh, okay.